The fact that this emerald energy is coming from the sun is confirmed within the word aurora. It is the aura of Ra, the Hyperborean canvas of creation. Our auras are endlessly connected to the two suns and the goddess's astral web. The inevitable return of the goddess has excited me for all of time. Deep in Earth's heart lie the halls of Amenti, far neath the islands of sunken Atlantis, halls of the dead and halls of the living, bathed in the fire of the infinite all. Deep in the halls of life grew a flower, flaming, expanding, driving backward the night. Placed in the center, a ray of great potence, life-giving, light-giving, filling with power all who came near it. There, time after time, placed they their first created bodies, so that they might be filled with the spirit of life. There in the circle from eon to eon sit the great masters, living a life not known among men. There in the halls of life they lie sleeping. Free flows their soul through the bodies of men. Time after time, while their bodies lie sleeping, incarnate they in the bodies of men, teaching and guiding onward and upward, out of the darkness into the light. We are sleeping right now. These are not our real bodies. We are still at the center. We split ourselves in half, and therefore forgot that our bodies were ethereal and without submission to the dualistic cycle of life and death. The children of the black sun drank from the living waters, from the sacred well of Urt already, and this experience has been the price we pay for gaining the wisdom of the ages.
The alchemical Mercury is the black sun. He is by his very nature the unconscious, where nothing is differentiated. But as a living spirit, he is an active principle and so must always appear in reality in differentiated form. He is therefore fittingly called duplex, both active and passive.
The black sun illuminates Hyperborea, and this is what Olaf Jansen called the smoky god. The black sun's carrier, the aurora borealis, travels through the ether and weaves reality based on the collective intent. It is not a conscious act, and therefore the aurora borealis could be interpreted as a sort of organic artificial intelligence. This is what the Matrix movie shows as the Matrix Code raining down.
The fact that we intuitively know we can leave this place means this existence, this form of yourself, is merely an extension of a higher form of yourself. That's why everybody knows ascension is possible. It doesn't work the other way around. I feel like many people come from the perspective that in order to ascend, as a meek, puny human, we must be supremely pure and righteous. And therefore, we will raise up from this deadened, limited condition of a human being and finally achieve a higher form of existence which is not based on the rudimentary laws of the third dimension. But this reality is simply a lower form of a united consciousness which is projecting itself as a fallen consciousness, as an experiment. I get it. In this third dimension, most of us barely receive any signals from anything which could be considered transcendent. And so many of us rely on YouTubers and our own intuition to kind of connect the dots, but guys, the specifics don't matter, okay? The universe does not operate on a mechanism of left brain reasoning where if you don't check all of the boxes, if you don't dot all of the I's and cross all of the T's, then you'll be fucked. And this is the feeling I'm getting when a lot of people talk about ascension. They're talking about, you have to resolve the masculine, you have to resolve the feminine, this and that. And all of these concepts, they're definitely a part of this process, but when we can finally breathe and stop thinking so much about this in terms of what we have to do, then we will automatically feel pushed in the correct direction in order to become fully integrated. This is way past a theory as far as I'm concerned when I'm talking about the North Pole, the Aurora Borealis, and how the Metatronic overlay is all a projection from the center. You know, this is no longer just an assumption. I've been making video after video, year after year, trying my best to explain what I intuitively know as the truth. And of course, we observe in many movies, especially over the past few years, lots of depictions of the Aurora Borealis. We have been experiencing many what we would call waves of transformation. And this is a process that we all feel, even though most of us aren't really on a personal talking basis. You know, this isn't an organized effort. So it's very beneficial to step out of a limited third dimensional perspective and look at this realm for what it is. This is not a realm of evil against good. If we want to remain in judgment and in division, where we categorize things as good or evil, righteous or corrupt, then we will miss the underlying gnosis that we can easily tap into when we step away from that reactive mindset. It's very difficult, I know, for people to truly get that the evil forces out there, the dark cabal, the so-called Illuminati, is simply a representation of a shadow force that's been projected as a way to reflect back to us what we are not. And that is all this is. Anything in this realm, when we're talking about imbalances or scarcity or master-slave mentalities, or consumerism, materialism, ill health. Everything of that sort is simply a mirage that is showing to us what happens when a fallen reality solidifies. But because, as living souls, we are not that. We are literally the 0-point energy which flows through the above and below. So, because we are not that, we can never be consumed within the illusion. We can, of course, watch it like a movie, and we have, and this is why it appears so real, because it appears we're cut off from the infinite during this time in Hades. But the whole point of purgatory, of course, is to learn your lesson, and what better way to learn your lesson than be in a simulated reality which shows to you everything that is the opposite of how a fully integrated universe should operate. I mean, to me, that is the greatest realization any of us can have at this point, because we can go without as much as we want. We can point fingers, we can accuse and judge, but the true wisdom is within. It's crucial for all of us to take a step back, breathe, and realize this is an automatic process. The mother goddess, who we could personify as Sophia, it is emanating this feminine, creative energy. She has been in turmoil, and that's why we call Mother Earth a mother. She's a woman. We have been on a dysfunctional woman, but the story of her is the story of us. The universe doesn't move in one direction, and that's how you know time is an illusion. The past does not mean the future is fucked always. After all, you can look at an event from 200 years ago, and you didn't necessarily cause it, but supposedly now it is glaring its impending doom on the future, never to be resolved. I don't buy that, nor does my intuition say that is the state of the universe. It moves in one direction only. You see, when we can see everything in terms of like a quantum computer generating all of its possibilities, then that means when a possibility has reached full capacity, that means it's going to dissolve, and that entire timeline, while it seemed so real, it will fold up like a little origami pet. We are the living souls. We have rediscovered the heart. We are burning with a passion and a knowingness that very soon we are going to drink from those eternal waters, that we are going to return to the original way the Matrix was intended to be expressed and lived. So thank your lucky stars that you're being shown everything that you aren't. Be glad that culture and politics and society in general is crumbling and is in a state of turmoil, because this is the sign that the end is near. And it's really not an end. It's a fresh new beginning. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes. You thought you were just a measly little human. Oh, you're about to be in for a real treat.